You know that feeling when your teenager walks in and something just feels off. 3 years ago, they told you everything. Now you're lucky if you get a shrug. You ask what's wrong. Nothing. But your gut says something shifted and you don't even know when. Here's what nobody tells you. You're not paranoid. You're perceptive. Here's something that changed how I see this. Researchers at Utrecht University tracked thousands of adolescents and found that the erosion of parent and teen trust doesn't happen overnight. It happens in small, almost invisible moments. You feel it, the way they tense up when you ask about their day, how they angle their phone away, the silence that used to be filled with stories. But without knowing the specific patterns that break trust, you're stuck guessing, overcorrecting, or worse, doing damage you can't see until it's too late. So today, I'm going to show you 7 patterns that quietly destroy trust between parents and teens. These aren't guesses, they're backed by developmental psychology. Pay attention to number 5. That's the one that separates parents who are trying to help from parents who are accidentally teaching their kids to shut down. If you recognize even 3 of these, it's not a coincidence. Your instincts were right, and now you'll know exactly what to do. Pattern number 1. You're monitoring their life instead of being part of it. Reading their texts, checking their browser history, demanding passwords like you're running a security clearance. You tell yourself it's about safety. Wrong. Developmental psychologists call what teens need separation individuation, the process of forming their own identity. This isn't rebellion, it's literally how humans become adults. Research published in the Journal of Youth and Adolescence shows that when parents violate privacy, they don't stop risky behavior, they just push it underground. Your teen doesn't stop having secrets, they get better at keeping them. Not because they're sneaky, because secrecy becomes the only way they can breathe. Years from now, they won't remember what you found. They'll remember how you made privacy feel like a crime. If this sounds like you, you're not a bad parent. You're a worried parent who learned that love means vigilance. Now you know, trust given first is stronger than trust demanded. Pattern number 2, your love comes with conditions. Your teen makes a choice you don't like, so you go quiet. The silent treatment, heavy sighs, maybe a little after everything I've done for you. Most parents think this is discipline. Wrong. Carl Rogers called this conditional regard, and studies from PMC show it creates anxiety that follows kids into adulthood. You're teaching them that love disappears when they don't perform. So they rebel. I can't make you happy anyway, why try? Or shrink into people pleasers who manage your moods instead of developing their own sense of self. Here's the hard truth. Your emotional reactions are your job. Their job is to grow, not to tiptoe around your feelings. If you've done this, it doesn't mean you don't love them. It probably means you learned love with strings attached and you're passing that pattern down without realizing it. Pattern number 3. You're parenting the version of yourself from decades ago. When I was your age, we didn't have phones. We went outside. We dealt with it. You survived puberty, bad haircuts, and questionable decisions. How different could their problems be? Wrong. You were a teenager before social media turned every moment into a performance, before school safety drills became routine, before college cost what a house used to, before mental health became a daily survival skill instead of something people whispered about. When you brush off their anxiety as drama, here's what they learn. My struggles aren't real. My world doesn't matter, and you're not safe to talk to. If you catch yourself comparing generations, you're not out of touch. You're just parenting the wrong decade. Get curious about their world. That's how you stay connected. Pattern number 4. Every conversation becomes a report card. How are your grades? Did you study? What about extracurriculars? Anything that'll look good on applications? You track their GPA like a stock price. But when is the last time you asked how they're actually doing? Wrong. Research from Frontiers in Psychology links excessive academic pressure to anxiety, depression, and burnout in adolescence. Teens who feel valued only for achievements develop fragile self-worth. They're not learning capability, they're learning that love is earned. Some burn out chasing gold stars, others quit trying. If I can't be perfect, why bother? Both learn the same thing. I can't come to you when I'm struggling because disappointing you might break me. If achievement has become your main topic, you're not cold, you're scared for them. But they need to know their love for who they are, not what they produce. Pattern number 5, the one I told you to watch for. You're accidentally closing the door on their emotions. Your teen says, "My friends are icing me out." Before they finish, you're in fix-it mode. "Don't worry, honey. In 5 years, none of this will matter." You think you're giving perspective. Wrong. Researchers call this emotional invalidation. Studies published in Child Abuse and Neglect found that minimizing a child's emotions is linked to chronic emotional inhibition and psychological distress that persists into adulthood. When you dismiss their pain, you teach them my feelings only count if you agree with them. So they stop sharing, they bottle it up, then it explodes over something random like you asking about the dishes. Here's the shift. Don't minimize, don't fix too fast. Try, "That sounds really hard. Do you want to vent or do you want help figuring it out?" Let them choose. If you've rushed to solve instead of sit, you're not dismissive. You learn that love means fixing. Now you know, sometimes love just means being in the pain with them. Pattern number 6. You only really show up when the house is on fire. Grade slipping? Now you're all ears. They're crying in their room, suddenly available. But on a regular Tuesday, you're folding laundry, answering emails, mentally somewhere else. Most parents think crisis presence is what matters. Wrong. Teens who only get attention during emergencies learn something dangerous. I only matter when something's wrong. So they either hide problems to avoid stressing you out or start creating drama just to get connection. Connection shouldn't be a fire drill. The real relationship happens in the boring moments. Car rides, random snack runs, asking how was your day, and actually listening to the answer. If you've been the crisis mode parent, you're not neglectful, you're stretched thin. But showing up in the small moments is what teaches them they matter all the time, not just when things fall apart. Pattern number 7. You're trying to control them into becoming a healthy adult. Their grades, their attitude, their friends, their screen time, you micromanage because you're terrified of what happens if you let go. You think control keeps them safe. Wrong. A University of Virginia study followed teens for nearly 2 decades. They found that psychological control at age 13 predicted problems with relationships, education, and independence all the way into their 30s. You can't control your teen into becoming a healthy adult. You can only connect with them into becoming one. When every conversation becomes a battle over hoodies, Snapchat, or who they sat at lunch, you stop being a parent and start being a manager they want to quit. 2 outcomes. A teen that lies like a professional, or one who never trusts their own judgment because they've never been allowed to make a decision. If you've gripped too tight, you're not controlling, you're scared. But their job is to stretch and stumble. Your job is staying close enough that when they fall, they know exactly who's there. If you recognized a few of these, don't spiral. The fact that you watch this, that you're willing to look at your own patterns, that already puts you ahead of most parents who never question how they're showing up. You didn't learn these patterns because you're a bad parent. You learned them because someone probably did them to you, and now you have the awareness to break the cycle.
If you want to know exactly where you stand, I made something for you. It's called the Parent-Teen Trust Assessment. 14 questions that map to the 7 patterns we just covered. A scoring system, and 1 repair phrase for each pattern you can use tonight. It's free. Links in the description. And don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.
Which pattern hit hardest? Drop the number in the comments. And if you know a parent who's watching their kid pull away and can't figure out why, send them this. Sometimes the patterns we can't see are the ones doing the damage. The real question isn't where did I go wrong? It's what can I do differently starting now? Your teen doesn't need a perfect parent. They need a present one. Someone willing to see the patterns, own the mistakes, and keep showing up anyway. You're not paranoid. You're perceptive. Now you know what to look for.